I think it was like more of the fact that like she would just listen. You know, I'm an extrovert, she's an introvert,
Mm.
and it just felt really easy to talk to her.
Like she cared, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, she cared. You know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, what about like? Give me your perspective. I mean, you went through a breakup. Like, you know, is this normal? Is this like 2 years, like a year?
Yeah. I mean, I literally just had the craziest dream about my ex last night. Like, I feel like, I mean, something that I think a lot about is like, what does it mean to get over somebody? You know, I feel like the way when I was growing up, America had portrayed what getting over meant. It meant to like hate them, like to be like, I hate this person, I never talk to them again. Then I'm over them. And something that I noticed in my very first relationship, my high school relationship, I had only gone over her after I got with my next girlfriend. And I feel like that's something that's super common that people talk about, like, oh, like, when they get with their next person, then they get over that person. But I feel like that's not really getting over somebody. That just means like now you're focused and concentrated on someone else. That's not necessarily getting over somebody. So like I took a lot of time to really think like, what does it actually mean to get over someone? And when you love somebody, I feel like that just becomes a part of you. Like I would say I didn't do a great job in that relationship, but to what I thought love meant, and like to me, what I thought was giving my all. At that moment, I gave my all, and now looking back at it, of course, I could have given more. But at that moment, when I was young and in that relationship, like that was the best I could have done then. So I kind of came to terms with the fact that like I will always have love and respect for this human being, and it's that, which is why I'm like, it's very odd that this girl treats you like that, and which is why obviously this doesn't help you get over her, but you should have the knowledge that like you deserve better. Like somebody, like even if they're not with you, who still respects you as a person. Like that's another thing I think people really sleep on. It's like, oh, if we're not together, then fuck you completely, which is so stupid, because it's like you're still alive and you're still a person. Like, why would I just completely neglect you? So it's like, if somebody's able to do that to you, like they probably have a lot of work they need to first do on themselves too, because that's just a really mean thing to do to any human being, especially if you're like a loving person, like to just be like, all right, I'm not with you anymore, fuck you completely as a human being, I don't care about you at all anymore. That's insane to do. So it's just like,
Bro, like I never like, I've heard some crazy stories about ex stalking their ex and doing crazy shit like
oh yeah,
calling them names and this and that. It's just like I always took the high road. Even the conversation before, like I hit her up like 2 months later. I said like, I appreciate everything you taught me, and I hope you have the best life, and I hope you get what you want. After two, obviously, like that was the initial. I had to like that took balls to say, but like I just had to say the right thing. And
yeah,
then 2 months later, I even said like, I did a lot of reflection. Bro, I wrote so many fucking letters, bro. I never sent them, but it's it's weird how these things affects you.
yeah. I think you just gotta, I mean, you've spent a ton of time, and I bet you already have, but maybe I'll just ask you a few questions, and then you just answer them for yourself, like try to like, maybe while talking you'll somehow see something that you didn't see before or something. But like, I think like one thing you can start from is like like how did this person make you feel in general, like when things were good?
It made me. I mean, it felt like the world was stopped, and like nothing else mattered. It was just like me and this person, and like we were, and it was just that. Like I felt like we were in a different world. It was just me and her, and nothing else really affected us. Nothing really, brought us down, and I just felt on top of the world because like it was ours. It was our world. That's it.
No,
It was like two peas in a pod stuck together. You know what I mean?
I definitely know what you mean. Yeah, because, and I was actually talking to my friend about this. We always have like very existential conversations just about like Why are we alive? Like, what is the point of being alive? Like, you know,
Like
what?
my question to you is like, can she really form like an, not even can I even form like an emotional connection like that ever again?
I
You
think
know what I
that's
mean?
the biggest question everyone has. I obviously have no right. I don't know. Obviously don't know.
Or even if she can, like we were each other's first love, but like, dude, the emotional connection, like
Yes.
first loves in high school are one thing, you're another thing, but like I feel like once you're in the later years of your college years, which we did start dating, junior senior years, and you're just focused on each other, right? And like you are FaceTiming each other for every day, and you're talking every day, and you have an emotional connection with each other that you haven't had with anyone else, and she hasn't had it with anyone else, and it's your first one. Like
Yeah, it hit different for sure.
it's
But
that's like the hardest thing I'm trying to figure out.
but that's with everything, right? Okay, so like, um, I completely understand. I definitely feel that same way. But I guess like where I'm at now. Obviously, I don't know anything. So this is just like where I'm at now in my just process. But so first, what I had to understand, one was like what like honestly it is kind of broad, but like what the fuck does love like even mean? Like what does that feeling, is it like, what does that mean, right? So this was okay. So let me just quickly, I'll just go over the steps of what happened. So first we were together for 2 years, and something that had happened to me multiple times is like towards those end of the 2 years, those feelings of butterflies are really carrying, and those, that extra little cocaine hit that like makes you feel super on top of the world, they like start fading. At least for me, they started fading usually at the end of those 2 years, and it became more real. And I did like a lot of research, and I talked to a lot of adults, and they were like, after a certain point, love no longer becomes a feeling, but it becomes an action. It's something you choose to do every day because you know that that's that person. Like it's not a feeling, but it's like, I love you, and that's an action. Like I do these things, I love you. It's not this like feeling, because that feeling goes away for everybody. So like I didn't really I still don't really, that's hard. You have to be very wise to really go through that part and like successfully go through it, which is why a lot of relationships end, because everyone is so tied to that feeling, right? So after that had ended, I started thinking a lot about like, okay, so if the feelings go away with everyone, that means that something else has to come after, some commitment where feelings are no longer at play. You can make love work with anyone, which is what my parents always preached to me, because they're arranged. Almost all my family friends here are arranged, and they're actually very happy, and somehow like created a functioning like love between them where it works. They didn't know each other before they got married, and that's always like very contradictory to me, because it's like, can you actually make it work with anyone? Like you don't need to have this like crazy butterfly feeling. And it's like, hey, if we're both committed to each other and we're going to work to make ourselves better and the unit that we created better, if we're consistently committed to that, then you can really make it work with anyone. So that's what got me thinking. So now I'm at the other end where I'm like, if I can make it work with anyone, then how do I find somebody like to be like, this is who I'm going to marry? Like if you can make it work with anyone, like you could technically marry anybody, And so it's obviously not, I haven't like fully thought it all out, but the reason I'm saying that is because yes, you may never feel how you felt with her again, because think about the first time you do anything, it feels great. The first time I do anything feels amazing. And a lot of people I've heard, like I was watching this podcast about love, and they're like, your first love, like you'll never lose that. Like you'll always have a part of that person with you, as you will with everyone. When people get divorced, like if I spent, like, let's say me and you hung out for 10 years, whatever, a year together, and we did a whole bunch of stuff together, I will always carry a bit of you with me, like no matter, even if I stop talking to you, like you're not just gone, and there will always be a part of you with me. And it's like, I think coming to acceptance with all the good, and like, okay, at the same time, I'm saying a lot of this, but I feel like I also have not like, so I haven't fully moved on from my ex. As I was saying earlier, I don't even know what the fuck move on means. But to me now, it's like I would say to me what move on means is just like, I don't know what it means yet. I guess like people say, oh, like you're not jealous when they hook up with someone else. Like I don't think that's possible. Like if you love, like if you care about somebody, like you like them, and for some reason love because the way love kind of is in our heads is kind of possessive. Like unless you could somehow break that, but right now like love in everyone's mind is to some extent possessive. You know, it's like I like, oh, like I love you, like, oh, like you should not hook up with anyone, you should not do that. It's like, you know, it's like kind of possessive. But like, sorry, I'm tangenting. Do you kind of get what I'm saying?
No, no, you're on point, bro.
Okay, so what I was trying to say is like, since it's so like possessive like that, so like yes, even if she hooked up with, if I knew she was marrying somebody tomorrow or something, would I be sad? Yeah. So like I don't know if that's something you can just like completely be
So
like.
are you in contact with your ex?
So she actually recently blocked me, so we don't
Oh
talk no
wow.
more. Yeah. So that whole, yeah, that was kind of, yeah, I feel like our relationship got significantly more toxic after we had broken up, so that was not good.
Oh, so you were friends with her after?
Yeah, like yeah, we were friends for a bit, and that didn't
Oh
really
wow.
work. And then we like it was just messy.
You know, that's the thing. You know, I that's the hardest part about this. You know, you can tell by myself is like I don't like to burn bridges with anyone.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell I'm a personable guy. I'm a heartwarming guy. I'm a nice guy. I'm a good guy. And the fact that like that bridge, I guess, is burned. You know, metaphorically, I think that hits the hardest. You know, because I never did her wrong, and for her to just say, you know what, I don't want to ever speak to you ever again. That's really the hardest. And
How does that make you feel?
I mean, dude, just like it hurts, bro. Like it fucking hurts. Like obviously, like, you know, there's no other way to cut it. It still hurts. It
Yeah.
still hurts. Like it's like I know people say like, bro, like you're better than her. Like yeah, I know I'm better than her, and I know these things in my top of my head. But
I
like
get it, but you
this
don't
shit
feel
right
it. Yeah,
here,
yeah, yeah. The
this
emotions
shit,
don't line up with the logic. That's something I learned.
this shit doesn't line up.
Yeah, it doesn't
Like
line
she
up.
had all her flaws. I have a list right here on my phone about all her fucking flaws and how she did me wrong and you know why I deserve better and you know I can read that. I read that stuff every day. I read other Reddit posts every day. But it's like this right here for some reason won't line up with this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yes, I do know. My question, I guess, is like, I think like, I obviously I don't know, but one thing I think that helped me a little bit was understanding that that feeling may not go away. You know, like understanding that like it's just something you're gonna have to process and learn to live with, and like, but move on. Obviously, move on. But like for me, like I felt like for the longest time, like forcing myself to be like, don't feel that, don't feel that, don't feel that, doesn't really help you not feel that. You know. But what's important is just be like, this is what
I
I'm
mean,
feeling.
I haven't like held it in. You know, I've cried my share of cries.
Mm-hmm.
I've been angry at my share of angriness. You know, I've had the feelings. You know, the cycle. Dude, I did therapy for a good 6 months.
Did that help?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it was just good to talk to someone.
It is nice to talk to someone for sure.
You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, obviously, you know, I was reaching out to Sanjeev and Tia and everyone. You know, the good support system, but you know, I think the hardest part is like, you know, are you like, there's something like the one of my questions to you is like, do you ever think about like, I'm probably never gonna speak to her ever again?
Yeah. I do. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I guess like I mean I know that that's true. I feel like I don't. I just feel okay. Have you ever read this book called The Alchemist?
I need to read it, but I heard it's pretty good.
They just have this part about love and how I don't know. I think like one thing that may help you is like, I mean, obviously I don't. Okay, one thing that helped me was just like reframing my entire understanding of what love meant, and that was the only way I think it really helped me. Like understanding that like my conception of love as it was before was just so wrong, and like that obviously I can't tell you how to do that because you have to, you know, everyone has to find their own conception of love. There's no right or wrong conception of love, but you have to kind of figure out what that means to you. And I feel like for me, like when I was thinking my sophomore year of college definition of love, then there was a lot of problems because like I'm all of these things. But once I like kind of tried to rethink it, think of love like that, I haven't been super like thinking about anything is infinite, kind of like nothing like is forever, you know. Like I feel like a lot of relationships now are super, they tie you down. Like relationships tie you down. It doesn't give you the freedom that you deserve as a human being. And I feel like I don't know if that's what I don't know if that's what love looks like to me. I don't know if it's like, hey, you want to pursue something, but no, you should stay together with me, otherwise we can't make long distance work. Therefore you should, we should always stay together and move together and do everything together. That sounds more like slavery than anything. That doesn't sound like love to me. But that's how a lot of people are. Like people can't make long distance work. Like that's crazy. People cheat because it just seems like people's understanding of love is very like. But regardless, the point that I wanted to say is I just feel like the journey is like everyone's to make just based on like finding what love means to you, like what is fixing, delineating the feeling from the action, understanding that like the feeling can't be all there is, because otherwise love will always fade. There has to be more to love. And when you start getting closer to that, that's when you start realizing what else there is to it. But all of this is just talk. Obviously it's not something that's gonna like change your entire view of it tomorrow.
Have you written down like what you're looking for?
So yeah, so like now I'm at a place where like I'm super confused. So like half of me, like I'm super confused because okay, one half of me is like I don't even want to hop on Tinder or anything because I don't have a Tinder or anything right now, because it's like I don't even want to put myself out there like I am someone who's out there looking for sex. I think we're talking about love. It gets so much more complicated once you throw sex in there. Like I'm talking right now about love without sex. Like once you throw sex in there, it gets complicated 55 million times. Like it is so confusing. Like friends with benefits, this and that. Like it gets dummy confusing. So I'm talking about love without even sex right now. But yeah, so I'm just confused right now because I'm like I feel like when you put yourself out there like, hey, I'm not happy with myself. I want more than just what I can provide for myself, which is how I used to find girls before. I'd be like, hey, I'm going to go meet this girl. I'm going to go talk to this girl because I wanted something, because I wasn't happy with what I had myself. Every time that happens, I feel like the base itself of the relationship is, hey, I'm leaning on you. I'm leaning on you to feel happy. It's not that I'm happy, you're happy, let's be happy together. It's like, hey, I'm not happy, I'm leaning on you, you lean on me, we'll be happy. But then the base sucks and then it breaks. So it's like I understand that the base in which a relationship is created means everything. So it's like I want to be in a place where like I'm like freaking reading or something and you're reading or something and I'm talking to you about a book and we're like friends, and then we don't even have sex, we're like friends. And then I in my head that's how I want to eventually. I don't want to put myself out there like, hey, I'm really lonely, give me sex, and that's how I meet a girl. That's kind of where I'm at right now with it.
Wow, dude, that was. Bro, we gotta do a podcast on this, bro. This shit right here.
It's crazy.
This
No,
is
it's big.
this is gonna be $1 million. We gotta do it on the beach side of Hawaii, bro.
Oh,
I'm
that'd be
telling you right
hard.
now, me and you are talking the same wavelength,
Yeah.
bro. This is awesome. What did you read? I want to read some of the books you read.
I think, yeah, dude, honestly, because, like, dude, after my ex and I broke up, I was fucked up for a year and a half, bro. Like, I was fucked up until, like, maybe, like, dude, I was so fucked up my entire junior year and, like, most of my senior year after that. I was just, like, in such a bad place. Like, it was not the move, you know?
Yeah, but bro, we had to keep our heads high because we could
Yeah.
have easily gone down like the alcoholism or the drunkism, and you know. But yo, I'm gonna call it a night.
Okay.
But hey, let's get together about this in Hawaii, and we're gonna chat about this a lot more.
Yeah, and I think like what we should do is like we should also both just like read things to like grow ourselves as well. Before that, because I do think like so. I think
I'm reading the Four Agreements, so
I
I'm
think
gonna
the
finish that.
Alchemist is a really good one for love.
Okay,
That
I'll
really
check it
changed.
out.
That one really changed my view about love. Actually, I highly recommend that one.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate you, man. Hey, this is help, man, and I fucking love you, bro.
I love you
It's
too,
gonna be
bro.
fucking. It's
No,
gonna
like
be
actually, like
Hawaii.
no, but deadass. So like I want you to know, like when I met you, like something just clicked in me. Like actually, like
Bro,
you.
even with me, dude, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, the moment you told me about Four Agreements and just even on the chat, I already knew what I didn't know you at all, but you go ahead. But we're on the same wavelength because I think it's crazy how our lives met. I think we talked about this the other day. You went through your shit, I'm going through my shit, and it's just crazy how I was telling Sanjeev the other day, like I'm so grateful that you brought Gautam in my life because from what everything he's telling me, like it's great.
Yeah.
And
No,
so,
but what I did want to tell you, because I do want you to know this also, because it's sometimes nice to hear good things about yourself. It's just like I feel like I'm stuck. I'm surrounded by a lot of people who like are selfless or pretty selfish for the most part. Like even if they're kind and everything, like I feel like a lot of intentions and things. Even me, like I feel like at the core, I want to be a really selfless person, but I feel like at the real core of who I am, I'm very selfish. So it's really nice to meet somebody who's like at least to on the like you come off as a very selfless person, and like it's really nice to see somebody counter the thing that I'm afraid of. I'm really afraid of being selfish, which I know I am, but it was really nice to see you just be a very selfless person, and I feel like I can learn a lot from you. And literally just meeting you, I did learn a lot. And like so I you are
yeah.
an,
Well, dude, that's true. That's true. Growing up, I never had like a group. I was an only child for a long time, and
mm,
I was always like, damn, like I want a group. Like a lot of my cousins had siblings. My brother came late, but for a majority of my life, so I said like, and then I went to college, and I was just trying to fit in so bad. But then I was just like, I wanna just be myself, and then it just took off. And then I met Sanjeev, and then we just took off.
nice.
Yeah. All right, man.
All
I'll
right,
catch you later, bro.
okay, all right, peace,
All right,
bro.
man. Peace.
Good talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.